Hello everybody. In this video, I'm gonna make a little label for a keychain. I have these little keychains that I make, and I sell them in my store. So what I'm gonna do in this video is just make a quick little hand-drawn label for them. The thing is, though, is that I usually do them digitally. I draw something out, print them, and do stuff like that. But I wanted to do something different for this ones because these ones are handmade stuff, and the other ones they're handmade, but it's just basically pouring plastic on a mold and like getting them out of the mold and stuff like that. So on this one, they're actually made from either what's it called, foam sculpt or oven baked clay. So I thought a little more personal touch was needed for this one. So I'm gonna make my cutter, and I'm gonna cut it because I don't want the label to be too big. I got this cutter for $10 during the clearance sale at Walmart, which it was a pretty good deal. Because for the life of me, I cannot cut in a straight line. I can't use scissors. I cannot use the hand cutter tool that is like $5. I just can't cut straight. I just can't. And even with the cutter, if I swear I still see a curve when I cut it with the cutter, but it's fine. It goes straighter than usual. That's why I got it. It was $10. I was like, you know what? I need a cutter because I also need to make 4x6 little cuts, or sometimes like something's bad. So I needed a cutter. So I just like I bite the bullet, spend $10. It's pretty good. Now, like the label is not gonna fit like perfectly in the little baggies that I have for them, but it's fine. It's handmade. It's not precision. Some slight imperfection. I don't like it when stuff looks what is the right word? Like just machined out. I don't know. I'm just a craft guy, and stuff needs to have that little touch. This is just my regular keychain that I made from foam. It's not foam. It's actually one of them a craft foam. It's craft foam, but I used to make them like that flat, but I decided to make them sculpt something out to make something. That's why you see the Among Us character and Pickle Rick and stuff like that, and just testing out the labels to see if it's gonna fit. If I should make him bigger. I don't know if I should make him bigger or not, but sometimes less is more. And like I said, I don't want him to look perfectly neat, perfectly clean, because I just don't like that. I'm not. I should do a pencil here, but I don't wanna. I don't wanna do that. So I'm just gonna. I'm thinking, because if I do it with the pencil, I'm gonna have to erase, and then there's much, and it's a label. So you know what? I'm not gonna. I'm gonna wing it. I'm just gonna. Let me get um my marker. I'm gonna wing it. I'm not gonna use the pencil. The pencil has the slight probability that it's gonna smudge when I erase. Or if I erase, I have the tendency to erase really hard to get everything off. So I might just like scrunch up the paper. So I'm not gonna do it. And it's card. It's not a cardstock. It's watercolor paper that I use. Which I guess I could have used watercolor now that I think about it, but no, using watercolor, it gives you like, we have an expression in Spanish, te metes en camisas de once varas, which just means you get into like a, a bullet made out of 6 bullets, which means like one trouble after another, basically. That's not what it means. So yeah, not gonna put the watercolor right now and just like start going ham. Just gonna do the markers, and I got new markers that I want to try out. they were on special as well. When I usually don't do my Black Friday sale or my Black Friday sale. I usually don't do my Black Friday shopping or my Christmas. Like, you have to wait until a month to get the good deals, because that's when stores trying to get everything out. So you have to wait. So I got these markers, 36 by count, and I'm gonna try them out. It says they're acrylic, so crossing my fingers and hope it works. And like, because some of them might work. Like the green is fine. The green is fine right now. It's painting, it's doing its thing, but sometimes sometimes they don't, especially when they're on clearance. I don't know if it's like, because they should be good. They're just clearance items because they overstocked or some stuff. They should be good, but they're not good. Sometimes they just come out bad. They dry. They're dried up. The ink runs, meaning that, like, if you don't use them and you just keep them like on the side, the on this is on acrylic markers, some ones. And yeah, I know people are gonna say, well, you're buying cheap stuff. I'm sorry for budgeting, but in this day and age, with this economy, you gotta budget yourself. You just gotta. You can't just like splurge around on $40 markers and stuff like that. Like, no, it's like, no, that's not the time. It's not the time to do that. So I just basically buy on bargain bins and specials. But yeah, sometimes they run out, meaning that like the seal is not good, so they will leak out. That's what happened with my I bought a oil marker and it just leaked everywhere. I thought I could just pop it back up, leave it for later. Woke up the next morning, and I put it on where all what I keep all. I put it where I put all the other markers. So, and it's oil. This is oil. Oh, that was one of the. Oh, that's when I learned that, you can't leave. You have to keep him in quarantine, basically. you 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 gotta keep it in quarantine. That's what I'm saying. If you buy cheap markers, keep them on quarantine, because you never know what you're gonna get. Because honestly, I remember that this is a bad experience. I went to Michael's, and I was like, okay, this is they have a clearance sale. I'm gonna get as much as I saw markers, canvases that were just much, like, but it's fine. You paint over the. I don't understand this. If you buy canvases on clearance, get them. They might be smudged. If they're torn, you can do a lot of things, but you can cut them up and you can do little squares. And if you do little squares, you can like paint stuff over them, and you can get another SAO card, whatever it's pronounced, and it's fine. So just go to clearance, and you can find lots of specials. But I got this marker. It was a beautiful marker, oil. I was just getting into the hobby and stuff like that. I was like, I'm gonna try it out. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try it out, and it was a tidal wave of mistakes that happened. I, so I went, I got it, I got home, opened it up, shook that bad boy up, started painting with it or drawing with it in a canvas. The point, it didn't come through. The paint didn't flow smoothly, but it was all right. It was all right. It did the job. It did the job. So I was like, you know what? This is not half bad. I like this. So I went into the mindset of, you know what? I'm gonna save it to do the finish outlining. Like, I'm gonna paint everything, and then at the end of it, I'm gonna go over with the oil marker, and I'm gonna just outline everything so it looks nice, crisp and sharp. The line looks clean and everything. I was like, that's a great idea. Yeah, that's a great idea, Bean. Do that. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So I actually I did it, and I finished my painting. Everything was done. I did the whole thing, and I was like, you have to press. You have to press the point of it. Boom. so in order for more ink to leak out. So I wanted this clean, nice, smooth um, marker, right? So at the middle of it, I pressed it, and sometimes I don't know what happens, but you get this air bubble inside. So when you press it down, it splutters. It goes like poop. It just splutters. So when I press down on the point of it to get more ink down, like a clump of paint block came out, and I was like, oh, painting messed up. Had to move from that. You can just dwell on it. Just tried to clean it as best I could. Couldn't do it. Mess. The whole thing just horrible. But in my mindset, I was like, well, maybe that little air bubble was the thing that was keeping the marker from actually like doing its proper job of smoothly going over the surface. So I was like, oh, okay, that was an issue. Now it's not an issue. Fine, let's do another one. Second one I did, perfect. The marker was flowing smoothly. Everything was running smooth. I was like, this is great. This marker is great. Whenever they're in clearance, I'm gonna get them again. That was my mindset. Put it in with all of my markers because I was finished for the day. So I just put it in. Now keep in mind, I have this habit of putting it because I always had this habit, and I blame my high school arts teacher for this. She told us every single time, please remember, ladies and gentlemen, artists of tomorrow, to leave your markers, pens, and everything that has ink on it point down in your compartments. That way the ink doesn't flow back, and the ink doesn't flow back, and next time you come, what was it? So that way the ink doesn't flow back, and you have fresh points tomorrow, because I think the ink would flow into the back of the pen, and if you go right next day, you will have to like put it point down again, and the ink would take its time to go down to the point so you can draw again. So it was like, okay, what the hell, right? So we always leave the paint, everything pointing down. Thing is, this oil marker, that little bubble I told you about, kind of broke the seal on it. So me thinking, I let it point down with all my other markers, all my other Sharpie pens, everything. I left it. I have a big. You see it here. I have it. I have a big thing. So I left it there. Went to bed. Woke up next morning. Hype. I have a new thing I'm gonna use. So I was gonna use it. But here's the weird part, right? I get my bucket of markers and stuff, and I get this punch in the face of just oil smelling paint, and I was like, well, the paint takes a lot to dry, so dang, I'm gonna put it in the sun. I'm gonna expedite the paint, because me thinking in my head is the painting that I just did. So if it's the painting that I just did, it's of course gonna smell like paint. So I went to reach for the first, because I was doing, if I remember correctly, I was doing an aseo card, or whatever. So I was gonna do something with the Sharpie markers. So I was I'm gonna do this real quick and just send it on his way. I reach for it, and usually I don't look. I just reach for stuff, and I am what is it called? I take the cap off and starts going ham on the thing. That's what I did. Reach for the Sharpie marker, reach for the cap, and I felt stickiness on it. And I was like, my nephews haven't been here. They haven't touched my stuff with their grubby little candy-filled hands. It should be fine. Like, and when I looked at it, the marker, I had black ink on my on my fingers, smelling heavily of oil paint. I was like, what is this? What the? And I thought my mind was like black ink, black Sharpie. It has to be the Sharpie. The Sharpie leaked. It was not the Sharpie. It was not the Sharpie at all. It was the oil marker that had leaked all over my markers. All of them. Now, I don't know if you have experience with oil painting or oil paint, but it is hard to get off. It is, and you see the thick markers that I use, the how fat they are. So they're fat. It was a fat marker. It was like a thick one, so it had a lot of ink. And I remember looking at my little bucket of the bucket was ruined. Let's just say that. The bucket was ruined. The markers were sealed, thankfully. But I had to get... It was such a mess. It was such a mess. It was such a mess that it was just like... I had to get... what is it called? Thinner? Like, to actually deal with the paint. Because, I mean, in my head, I thought I could save the bucket. I couldn't save my little bucket of paint. I had to throw it away. And I still regret it because I have not found one big enough. It wasn't a bucket. It was a square. It was like this long box that acted like a bucket because it would keep them... It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And it got ruined by one marker. So yeah, you have to be careful what you buy on bargains, but remember, you keep them in quarantine and you should be good. Like, if you keep them in quarantine, like away from all of your precious markers, then you should be fine. That's a little story that I thought I share with you guys. I'm doing this in the little label. I'm gonna seal it with Mod Podge, just to give it that oomph, but I think I'm not gonna seal it with Mod Podge. I think it's gonna be ripped open if somebody opens the keychain. And this pickle Rick is made out of oven baked clay, so it's hard. This one is heavy and hard. This one you can literally, if you throw this at somebody, you will bust their head open. Because Pickle Rick, he's hard. He's hard. Like, he's hard and heavy. And I put super glue actually on the keychain attachment, so it's in there pretty good. Like, I usually put like on foam clay, because it can pop up easily. I usually put like a bit of crazy glue in it, so it really sticks on it. So you know, yeah. So it has, but. My little label's done. I thought I'd entertain you a little bit with my story. Just another rambles and painting, but I guess this would be more of a rambles and drawing. Rambling drawing video kind of thing. And this is basically how I do my little labels for the stuff, except the luchador ones and the other stuff that I have in my Etsy store. I do those on my Manga Studio, and I just print them out. But the ink, it's murdered on my ink. It just murdered my ink cartridges. So, this whole hand-drawn label thing, kind of looking forward to making more of this later.